welcome to TDF, the traditional dream factory. And first of all, probably you are wondering what TDF is all about and what this traditional dream factory is that you've heard so many things about already. And this first introductory message for all of you should really give you a clear overview of what the traditional dream factory really is. The traditional dream factory is a regenerative co-living place which was found in 2021 and which is located in Abela, Portugal, which is 1.5 hours south of Lisbon. Currently, TDF operates on 5 hectares of land, and there is a possibility to expand with 20 more hectares. And why is the land so important? The basic idea behind the traditional dream factory is to give back, to regenerate, and to leave the land better than we have found it. So the initial idea was to get some land and get it out of the market, get it out of speculation, and regenerate and make sure that it's being used a good way. The foundation of TDF is that 50% of the land are being rewilded. We strongly believe that the land knows very well best what it needs to go, so we let it grow. Then a tops of 45% of the land is going to be used for permaculture purposes, and a maximum of 5% is going to be used for housing. So that much about the land in Abela, Portugal, and maybe I can use my own personal experience a little bit in my own story to let you guys know what excites me about TDF so much. I have a background in growing up in a community, and the topic of being with people, being in a community has always been around in my life. And therefore, at the beginning of 2023, I came to the traditional dream factory the first time for 2 months to volunteer here. And frankly fell in love with the land, the people, and the vibe that is around here. And I decided to come back for quite a few reasons. And one of the major reasons is that we basically do not try to reinvent the wheel, but the idea is that we reuse and improve the modalities and the ways and the ideas that our parents and grandparents already had in the realms of community building and living together. What does that mean? The traditional dream factory has been around for a bit more than 2 years. It was founded in 2021. And as there are so many people around who have some kind of background with community, some kind of background with regeneration, there's a very vibrant atmosphere, and it just is a lot of fun to be around with people. 2 major components that I believe TDF does really, really well is infusing technology into community building processes. One big reason why I came back to TDF again is that here in Abela, we use technology to improve community building processes and to reinvent, revolutionize the way of access rights and ownership. Also, there is a governance token, so there is digital currencies being used to take more fair, just, and most importantly, decentralized decisions. Those 2 things, which will be explained in more detail soon, are definitely 2 of the major reasons why I keep on coming back to TDF. Those 2, and of course the vibe and the people that you find here. There is a very vibrant combination of very interesting individuals here. You have different people from different backgrounds, but all of us share love for the land, and all of us share love for living and being with people. You have people with backgrounds in permaculture, you have people with backgrounds in Web3 and technology, and each and everybody wants to create, wants to do, and wants to build. And that is also one of the reasons why it's called Traditional Dream Factory. It's really a place for dreams to come true. So you are invited to bring your dream, you are invited to create the dream, and you are invited to share this dream with the other folks. So after all that, you may wonder how to become a member at TDF. Well, first of all, before becoming a member, We highly believe it's very interesting and important for all of us to get to know each other and to get you to TDF, to get you see the place, to get to you to see the people as well. And there are different ways that you come and join and visit TDF. There are a lot of events happening, which you can find on our events page. There are basically events every other weekend. You can come as a volunteer for different periods of time, from a week to up to a couple of months. My personal experience is that my first volunteering was already 2 months at volunteer. You can resident as an artist, or you can also decide to become a co-liver straight away. Again, TDF is located 1.5 hours south of Lisbon. The connection with the train and the bus is actually quite good. And it always impresses me how much of an impact the land has on the people that visit. So many people come to visit, and very few of them leave without falling in love with TDF. And this is something that I definitely also share. So after you found your way to TDF for the first time, maybe for an event, maybe for a festival, maybe for a volunteering period, you may decide that you would like to make TDF a more stable component of your own life. And what is it that you can do? You can first of all decide to become a wanderer. You can become a supporter of TDF. You can subscribe, and this subscription will give you the opportunity to become a co-liver, to be around TDF more often, to book your nights at TDF, to spend more time at TDF, and to just explore the field more. The Wanderer subscription will give you the opportunity to become a co-liver, to spend more time at TDF, to get to know more people at TDF, to collaborate and to work on different projects with TDF. If you then decide that TDF really becomes an integral part of your life, you can also go for becoming a MemberSheep, really becoming a full-fledged member of TDF. What the process of that is, I will explain in a minute. What are the benefits if you become a wanderer at TDF? Well, first of all, as a wanderer, you already have access to all the educational material around agriculture, Web3, culture, and all the things that we have been recording, including this video. Also, you will receive a copy of the book, which is called How to Build a Regenerative Village. Further, you will have the right to book your night, you book your stay at TDF, and obviously you support TDF with your subscription and your help. You help growing a place that is according to your own dreams. So maybe after joining a few wanderer calls and other digital and physical get-togethers that we have at TDF and with TDF people, you decide that you actually want to become a member. So now that you've come to TDF for at least 14 days, this is the period of time that we believe makes sense to make you understand if you like the people, the vibe, and the land, and also to get understanding if TDF feels you to become a member. You can basically apply to become a sheep. You can basically apply to become a member of TDF. And how does that work exactly? We're going to explain now. So if you want to become a member at TDF, which brings certain perks with it, which is something I'm going to discuss in a bit, you can basically start initializing the process of becoming a MemberSheep. How do you do that? Well, after you've spent the 2 weeks on site, you basically write an application and say what interests you. Why is it that you want to become a member of TDF? And you have to find 3 people, which is probably quite easy after having spent 2 weeks here already, that vouch for you. So 3 members of TDF have to say that why and that they want to have you as a member of TDF as well. At the same time, there should not be a huge objection from any TDF member for you joining the membership. And another great benefit of being a member at TDF is that you can also use the land, the facilities, and the amenities to build your own dream. You can basically start your own business within the realms of TDF. And there are already quite a few examples of running businesses that are aligned with the values of TDF and which are operated from here. One is the mushroom farm, another one is the blue butcher, and of course the very book that I was just mentioning called How to Build a Regenerative Village. So you can basically use the land that we have at TDF. You can basically use all the different tools and all the infrastructure, all the community, all the connection that we already have acquired, and build your dream if it fits the dream of TDF well. Another great way of getting TDF to know quite a bit better is, of course, volunteering. This was, in fact, the path that I took to get to know TDF best. So I signed up for a fairly lengthy volunteering period of 2 months in the spring season at TDF. And this 2 months most definitely changed my life, and it made me come back to the land over and over again. So let's use this time to talk a little bit about how does life as a volunteer look like, and what responsibilities, tasks and duties and freedoms and joy can a volunteer have. So of course there is not one answer to how does it look like to be a volunteer at TDF, because we have different seasons. We operate in spring, summer and fall, and it really varies how many people are around. In my volunteering period, I would say it varied from being 3 people on the ground, which is very little and not often happening, to up to 20, 30 people being around. And we, at the same time, organize events for like 30 people, 60 people, 80 or 100 people. And that also comes down to what are the different responsibilities and tasks and duties at TDF. Again, it really comes down to what you want to create. I, earlier in my life, had lived in Amsterdam, and we had some chicken in Amsterdam. And I talked about that with a couple of people at TDF, and we joked about it. And what I had already known is that basically TDF is on the land of an old chicken farm. There used to be living 30,000 chicken on the TDF grounds, but no chicken were around anymore. But the idea was created, the dream was created that we can bring back some chicken to TDF. So one of my major tasks was basically to build a permaculture chicken tractor, so a movable chicken coop. Another task is to take care of making food here and there, depending on how many people are around. Usually everybody who's present at TDF would make 1 or 2 dinners each week, depending on how many people we are. Basically try to share this responsibility, and it's a great way to get to know common volunteers, TDF members who are around, and all the other people who join for events. Cooking in the end brings people together as well. Then there are so many other opportunities to show that you want to be part of TDF. There's events that need to be prepared. There's a lot of work in the land, which is something that I also very much enjoyed. We have a full-time person for the permaculture garden, and there's always help needed in the garden, as a garden is something that always keeps one busy. And overall, what I really value about the time and my volunteering at TDF is also getting to know other volunteers and getting to know the culture at TDF better. It is a very, very inclusive place where all the processes, everything that is happening, happens not only for TDF members, but TDF members and volunteers. So it was always a group feeling. It was not that I felt I'm the volunteer and other stuff is happening around. You're part of the group, you're part of the flock, and basically you can then decide if you want to become a member for long term or not, or if this was just your volunteering experience. But I always felt very accepted, I always felt very included, and I most importantly always felt like I can work on my very dreams, I can communicate them, and I can play and have fun along the way. I've joined a lot of fun events. We had a lot of different modalities, and we're in the realms of community building. There are a lot of nice rituals going on at TDF, and the offer really depends on who are the present stewards and also what is the season, how many people are around. But overall, I would definitely highly recommend my volunteering experience. And in fact, quite a few people have come because I have recommended my volunteering experience from my dear friends. Another great way to express your gifts and at the same time support TDF is to become a resident. So a residency basically means that you come to the land for free, you stay for free, you eat for free, there's no money being exchanged, and you bring your gift to TDF and you work on something. The raw materials are covered by TDF, and you basically create a dream for and with TDF. We have a Hilo fight for that. We have an outdoor cinema built like that. And there are many examples where very gifted individuals came to TDF to offer their gift and create something together for TDF, and at the same time had an amazing experience being surrounded by like-minded people who live according to the same values and who also want to create something. So there is really this big doer mentality amongst members, volunteers, and also the residents who are around, and this is something that also stands out for TDF for me. Another very intriguing fact I find about TDF is that we don't believe in land ownership, but land stewardship. What does that mean? The year has 4 seasons: spring, summer, fall, and winter. And for each season, there will be a steward, or 2 to 3 stewards, in fact, taking care of the responsibility and holding the land at TDF as being a steward. So as a steward, you have the great honor and the opportunity to hold TDF for roughly 3 months. You are responsible for the volunteer processes, you are involved with all the decisions that are concerning the land, and you are basically the one running the show at TDF, together with your 1 or other 2 co-stewards. And another great thing about being a steward and learning hands-on is that if you decide or if you play with the idea of building your own village, your own community, your own eco-village, it is a very good hands-on experience for you to get to know what are the responsibilities, what is it that you need to take care of. So we actually had quite a few people who play with the idea, who want to build their own villages, their own communities, and to come to TDF to actually get hands-on experience on what does it mean to hold space for so many people for at least 3 months. And from there you can see if you want to become a member at TDF and hold space at TDF more, if you want to go out into the world and build other regenerative villages, or if you decide that this is maybe not for you. So let's do a little recap. What is it that we talked about today? There are many different ways to become active around TDF. You can be a volunteer, you can become a co-liver, you can become a resident, you can become a TDF sheep, a member, and you can even become a steward. So if you decide that you want to come to TDF and make TDF part of your life, build the regenerative dream together, and put in the work to create a future that you want to live in, there are multiple ways to contribute. There are multiple ways to get to know TDF better. And we're always looking for makers, for doers, for dreamers, and for people like you to join the community, to join TDF in one way or another, and to support and create together.